gospel guy. I don't know what happened there. What happened there? Did Brother Thompson catch you?
He's just a little grumpy man.
That is his camera, not mine. I think he's recording in
Exactly what
secret.
you're doing. I mean, you've been in the church, served a mission. You know what was going on there.
Well, I wasn't sure if my end testimony was going to be. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to share the fact that I have beliefs that are maybe not.
Okay, this is a Mormon. He gave his testimony in church and he pissed everyone off. The thing that's interesting is that, well, I grew up in Utah when I was little, before 1978. And I attended a Mormon school for 4 years. And in those days, Brigham Young was polygamous. And they weren't ashamed of it. Now, he's not polygamous anymore. Never has been. But when I was young, I actually went to church with my Mormon friends, and I even went to primary school with my Mormon friends. It's something I did, and attended a lot of primary schools, stuff like that, for actually 6 years, because after 4 years of Mormon school, I was transferred to a private school. But the thing is, they said, Joseph Smith was polygamous, no big deal, nothing to be ashamed of, proud of it. They had Danites, they had Porter Rockwell in those days, and Brigham Young was polygamous, and he had a beard. Now, no, he doesn't have a beard anymore. Okay? And actually, when I was there, they did not allow blacks in the Mormon church. That just did not happen. But now they do. I wonder if they ever read 2 Nephi 5:21, or some of the journal and discourses of Brigham Young, or some of his sermons. But I guess they don't have those anymore, because they used to have the, Journal of Discourses. They had recorded sermons, and they used to record things quite fervently. But they used to encourage that in Mormon schools, keeping a diary, keeping records. I guess they don't do that anymore, obviously, because, like I said, Brigham Young was polygamous and had a beard, but now, no, he's not polygamous and didn't have a beard. But, when they talked about polygamy in those days, although the mainstream Mormons did not practice polygamy when I was in Utah, they certainly were not afraid of it. They certainly acknowledged it and said, yep, that happened. And they were proud of it, And I had two descendants of Brigham Young that were in my Mormon school. And they were proud of Brigham Young and everything that he did, to include being polygamous and having a beard. Although I guess they don't do that anymore. Anyway, this Mormon gave a testimony. He was wondering, he came across some information about Joseph Smith being polygamous. And the guy said, no, we can't teach that. Oh, no, he wasn't. Okay, well, maybe he was, but we can't tell that. Look, when I was 6 years old, they were telling the Mormon kids that, he was polygamous, and it was nothing to be ashamed of.
Consistent with the
Yeah,
churches.
I think you probably could, but I think when you start off with the Book of Abraham,
The first part, you're right. The first
Joseph
part
Smith
was,
and his wife, we got kids there. You read about him on the internet after your mission later in life. I read about him on the internet later in life, and you got a bunch of kids there, so the form is just wrong. And you know that. You're doing it.
This guy
That's
must
what
be
I said.
recording in secret.
I don't know your background that well, but I know you served a mission, married in the temple. That means you know exactly what you're doing in there.
I tried to make it as...
Okay, this guy is, everything's focused wrong, and he's not capturing the face. The guy is excellent. I guess what he's doing is he's recording in secret, so the guy doesn't see his camera or something. But he made the mistake by saying that Joseph Smith was polygamous. But like I said, when I lived in Utah, they all acknowledged that, and it wasn't a big deal. But now it's a big deal, and you don't learn it anymore.
kosher as possible.
No, we got kids in there. You know that. You know that was not kosher. You've been in the church long enough. You know exactly what you're doing.
Apologies if I cross the line.
Yeah, I got kids in there. I got a 9-year-old. I mean, that's just how I feel. So that's, Bishop handled himself well. I think he let you, maybe you went a little too long, but yeah. I mean, all that stuff you're doing, we've all read about it. no, it's not new to anybody. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the adults.
I'm not trying to necessarily introduce. I'm just sharing my
No,
again,
I disagree. I think you know
my
exactly what you're doing. That's
my
not.
faith story, and then what my current beliefs are. Was the plan.
Yeah, but you just kind of.
How I got there.
Brother Lewis gets up there and shares that, they're going through stuff. There's a sister before you that's going through stuff. And you get up there and you're not going through stuff, right? So you got things you want to say. It's not the right forum.
My faith has definitely gone through some stuff.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe you.
Once again, I won't do it again. I
appreciate
won't participate in the sacrament unless.
Dude, you need to get the hell out of that church and stay gone, because this guy does not appear like the forgiving type. And if you study religious history of not just the Mormons, but just religion in general, I mean, you got Christian cults that will kill people, okay? I mean, we're not talking about yesterday, we're talking about now.
I have things to say that are directly in line with the church's.
I appreciate that. I think what people are, it's testimony. I mean, it is a different meaning than other places, but people are coming to be uplifted. They're not coming for that stuff. We get that stuff all week long. I mean, it's not, to the adults in there, most of them know about it, but you get up in there and do that with kids, it's just, I don't know what to say. It's just, I don't know.
You took it pretty hard, okay.
Yeah, I got kids in there.
Then, should some of it, what I said, not be like when I said that
I'll teach my kids
Joseph
about
had
Joseph
multiple
Smith.
wives?
I'll teach them about that when I want to.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
don't need.
Which will be never. Yeah, so he's actually acknowledging that Joseph Smith was polygamous, but he'll teach it to his kids when, never.
Anybody else teaching my kids about that stuff? I'm a parent. I don't.
Fair enough.
I mean, you're just thinking about yourself out there. That's the problem.
And you're just thinking about yourself. This guy's a serious asshole, and he just might want to exercise some blood atonement on you, friend. So to the guy that was videoing this, I'd say you get the hell out of the church and stay gone.
We all got stuff we're going through, no matter where we are, right? And so that's why I think that's the problem. So yeah, you don't agree with that?
How old are your kids?
I got kids from primary to one getting married this summer. I got 5 kids there in every one of these organizations.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, fair enough. Well, like I said, I'm happy to refrain in the future, and I definitely tried to tone it down as much as I could to make it kosher, but I appeared to have failed in my attempt.
you totally failed in your attempt. Your attempt. I don't even believe when you say you attempted to tone it down. When you get there, start talking about Joseph Smith and his plural wives. Please.
Everybody knows Brigham had many wives.
No, my 9-year-old daughter doesn't.
She doesn't really.
Yeah, don't. I'll teach them its age.
Well, I learned it when I was 6, okay? And you'll teach it when she's age appropriate, which is never.
Appropriate.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that. I had.
You think the
learned about
5-year-olds in
Joseph's
there
wife.
know about it?
Yeah.
Or doesn't?
She doesn't really.
Yeah, don't. I'll teach them it's age appropriate.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that. I had.
You think the
learned about
5-year-olds in
Joseph's
there
wife.
know about it?
Yeah. Duh, or at least they used to prior to 1978. It was nothing to be ashamed of. It was historical. Brigham Young was a prophet, so was Joseph Smith. Even though they changed their stance on polygamy. I mean, the fact of the matter is, prophets could do no wrong.
I had
You
known
think the
about
5-year-olds? You
Brigham
think the
Young's
5-year-olds in our
polygamy.
sacrament need to know about that?
Yeah.
I don't want to get it.
I don't know. You're right.
It's turning sour. I don't want it
I
like
don't
that.
know.
You're welcome here.
It is sour.
We got people that believe in a lot of different things that come, but they don't come to intentionally disrupt.
It won't happen again.
Okay, appreciate that.
It better not happen again.
Fair enough?
Okay, dude, you need to leave that church. Okay?
I was told by one of the ladies that I was unaware. Apparently, the Denver Stuffer folks started here in this morning.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, that's where we're on. This is.
That was. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That may have.
we got multiple families in this ward and Denver ward that left, and other people that it was disrupted. But you know what? That's all fine. Nobody came in our sacrament.
I definitely knew nothing about that. So that was shocking to me. So
Yep.
I may have.
Look, this guy is pissed, okay? And he's pissed in a religious way, and You know, one thing about these religious groups is, believe it or not, they kill. They kill people. Yeah. That would go for Christians and Aztecs and Mormons and, well, I guess virtually every religious group. Hare Krishnas.
May have done things differently, knowing that this board has a history of stuff.
That guy is pissed, and he looks like he wants to kill you.
I just encourage you to think of the families out there and what they're going through and the kids and, you know, whatever form you need to express yourself, that's...
No. This guy is really pissed, and dude, you need to watch your back. You need to leave that church.
My issue is you know that. I think you do because you served a mission. I'm just guessing. I don't know that. I guess I shouldn't say you know that.
I wanted to share my
you know
story, and I didn't think that my story was highly offensive. I thought it was a story that many have gone through.
Prior to 1978, it wouldn't be offensive.
It was not a uncommon story.
I don't disagree.
It's a very personal story that's affected me in my faith and my life very, very heavily and very much, and it's very important to me.
It may be true, but wrong form. In other words, you can't just say what you want. This is a church, for crying out loud.
Let me ask you this, because I serve with the bishop. We've all read Rest and Rolling. I've read Sacred Sacred Loneliness. I don't know if you've heard of that book. I've read a lot of things, and Bishop has too. Why not go meet with him and talk to him about it?
No.
If you got issues with those kind of things.
Nobody has an issue. He just said something.
I'm not here to necessarily vent my issues. It was more, my purpose was to share my story.
Yeah, but you were venting issues up there. That's what I think it was. That's probably what...
Some of the church issues are part of my story, and I'm sorry if it came up.
If you're going to give your testimony, make sure you get it sanitized and cleared with the church before you get up there and talk. Bottom line, right? I mean, that's really all it boils down to. Or better yet, don't go to church at all.
Escaping a religion or ideology, it's something like escaping Mormonism, where the story is
back up a little
atheism. The title alone is really ludicrous. Normally, when someone talks about escaping a religion or ideology, it's something like escaping Mormonism, where the story is something like, I was a child bride and the church turned my whole family against me when I left, or escaping Scientology, which consists of something like, they locked me in a tower and made me a slave, and when I finally did escape, they harassed me and made me fear for my life. Or escaping Islam, where the story is, I left Islam and now I'm considered an apostate and my own family wants me dead. To act like atheism is anything like these groups is ludicrous. The worst thing that's going to happen to you if you go from being an atheist to not being an atheist anymore is that I'll call you a dumbass. So you didn't do something so dramatic as escape, okay? Let's get that out of the way before anything else. Now, the site's sidebar offers us an option to donate, saying, please help us in our efforts to challenge dogmatic, bullying, mind-closing, soul-crushing, culturally toxic atheism. Let's go down that list of adjectives real quick. Dogmatic is the first one. So how can a religious person accuse atheism of being dogmatic? I mean, some atheists might try to turn atheism into something dogmatic. I'm looking at you, Steve Shives and P.Z. Myers. But most atheists are atheists, at least partly, because they want to be free from dogmatic thinking. Bullying. Well, this is one of those words that has lost its meaning through wanton and careless overuse. A bully used to mean someone who hurts and harasses you on a regular basis just to make his or herself feel better. But now, a bully is anyone who dares to call you out on your own bullshit. Mind closing. How is atheism mind closing? Almost any atheist you talk to is open to any new idea or possibility. They just demand evidence. A person who believes any whimsical notion that enters their head is not open-minded, they're stupid. Soul-crushing. Well, we don't have souls, but even if you take the less literal interpretation of that and just view it as sort of like breaking a person's spirit, atheism does the opposite of that. Atheism is about rejecting the soul-crushing decrees of theism. I get letters all the time, for example, From gay kids living in fundamentalist households that are putting them in the soul-crushing position of being forced to deny their own sexuality because it contradicts the fairy tale of their parents. Atheism is a force of liberation for those kids. Culturally toxic. I'm not even sure what that one's supposed to mean, so as far as I'm concerned, it's just gibberish like all the rest. Now that we're done shitting on the sidebar, let's take a look at the actual contents of the site. Let's take a look at the arguments against atheism. The first article that you will...
Okay, that guy goes on and on and on, and I don't know. I don't have a problem with atheists, actually. Matter of fact, when it comes to money, I've had better luck with the atheists than the Christians. Christians will kill you for money. I've never met an atheist that would kill for money, but I haven't known that many atheists, but I'm okay with them.
Just otherwise. I'm the Amazing Atheist. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. And as always, peace the fuck out!
And that's a pretty good commentary to wrap it up.